Hi, my name is Aris Georges, and I am an old Taliesinite fellow who has studied at Taliesin since the 80s and then taught at the school, worked in the firm, and was in the fellowship up until recently. I am the designer of this year's abstract illustration that is featured on the invitation to Frank Lloyd Wright's birthday celebration. This video will demonstrate how the design came about and also how I built it from hand drawing to a digital illustration. This is done for two reasons. One has to do with the virtuality of our reality at the moment, given the pandemic, and the fact that we're all creating content to share. The second part is that there is interest in this tradition for abstraction and geometry that connects us to nature. And it's a tradition that goes back to Frank Lloyd Wright's mentor, Louis Sullivan, and the ornament philosophy on architecture. At the same time, the tradition is something that has been developing at Taliesin over the years, and also is part of what we've been doing for the invitations to this particular event every year. Now, most of the designs are based in nature, and they're either flowers or plants, and they have been associated with Taliesin one way or another. Sometimes it would be a desert plant. But it seemed that this year something different needed to happen. So I went to see Minerva Montooth, who is a pillar of Taliesin. She's the social director, a mentor, beloved friend to very many people, and also the one that I've been working with the last few years to do these invitations. So we had this wonderful tea at the upper court of Taliesin, socially distant, but with Fifi sort of going back and forth between us. And in our lovely afternoon chat, we were talking about what should be the approach this year. We decided that there will be no printed invitation, so we can be freer to develop a medium that is directly effective online. And the invitation design linked to this video is part of that idea. We also were discussing what should be on the design, and I was disclosing to Minerva quite embarrassingly that this year I realized what the violet looks like in real life. I knew the flower, and of course it's a famous flower, and by name at least, the world over, and music has been written for it, and art has been made for it, and beautiful women have been named after it. So there is all kinds of connotations, but I never really had seen one, and to my surprise, I discovered that it's a tiny little ground flower, and I've been excited about it ever since. And so I was telling Minerva, maybe it will be the violet this year. And while we're doing all that, up above us in the lilac bushes, there was this strong, loud bird song. And at some point I looked up, and there is this red, blurry mass. And I asked Minerva, what is the bird? And she said, it's the cardinal. Another embarrassing moment for me. I thought cardinals existed only in the West. But we decided that the cardinal was telling us, hey, maybe you should put me on the invitation. And because we looked at each other and thought, why not? Let's go that direction. I had never worked on an abstraction of an animal before, primarily because of the incredible work of Charlie Harper, and anybody who's trying to make a geometric animal has to work in his shadow, especially the cardinals. He did an entire book on them. But like it usually goes, I start with a freehand sketch, and I explore and tune into what makes the bird specifically recognizable, particular, as Frank Lloyd Wright would say, essential character. And in that sketch, I'm also starting to anticipate what will happen with the geometry later. From that, I start actually sketching geometrically with the freehand and do several passes of that. And this is what you're going to be seeing in the next few minutes in this video. And with the last bit of that turning into an actual drafted drawing of the abstraction with analog tools, compass and straight edge. And once I understand what their geometric moves will be and what type of angles and what type of radii and intersections that I will use, then I can take it digitally to the computer and develop it further there. And in that final step, the computer itself is beginning to generate a different type of interaction with the pattern, so things happen there that did not happen in the hand pieces. Interestingly enough, the entire collection is a journey, visual journey of how the thing developed. So I hope you enjoy watching it, and thank you for supporting Taliesin, and thank you for being part of this event.